Hey, good morning, free thinkers. The other day I was having a conversation with my oldest son. Very good young man. He's about 44 now. And I had a conversation with him the other day, and it's funny how the age gap and also the time from the 1980s to now, the difference in how relationships are. And when I say relationships, I'm talking about marriage. And he said to me that when you get married, you're signing up to always lie to your wife. And I found it interesting that a lot of men his age have that mindset, and I could understand, and I really understand their mindset of what marriage means now and what marriage mean back in my time, right, which is the 1980s. Um, the issue that he brought up is valid, okay? Because right now, a marriage between with a woman and the government don't benefit men right now, right? Because of how society have shown women that they don't need men and what you could take from that man, extract from that man when you come into it with nothing, right? And what a man has to sacrifice to make your life better and happy. And I understand the resentment and the feelings of why going into a marriage in this time doesn't benefit a man. And I understand that. Do I agree with it? I kind of agree with it because I think that, depending on what the person really is coming in, really getting married for, the security, the protection, a lot of people are not into that, right? And I say people, I mean women. They're most of them are not getting married for the right reasons. They start out with the right reasons because you want the day and you want the white dress and you want the family around, but they were never marriage material, because for you to be marriage material you have to see it, not on TV, not in the movies, but actually see it in real life with your mother and father. And if you don't have a father and a mother that are not shacking up, but married, and see the commitment they have between each other, then I understand a lot of these men's feelings. All right. But for me, I'm a little bit older. So when I got married, it was in the 1980s, and believe it or not, the time frame then and the time frame now is drastically different. Drastically different. Before we got married, we only had 7 channels, TV stations. Believe it or not, 7. You had channel 2, channel 4, channel 5, channel 7, channel 9, channel 11, and then PBS, Public Broadcasting Corporation. Channel 2 went off at 1 o'clock, I think, in the morning with the national anthem. So there really wasn't any um, amount of information available. And we only had AOL and what's the other one we had? Yahoo. That's what we had. AOL, Yahoo, and I think later on we had .net and a little bit of that. But the information we had back then was limited. As far as women, women back then also checked women because you needed to be married. The marriage rate was way higher then, because we were going to a wedding every couple of weeks. We were going to a wedding, whether it be in Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, Washington, Jersey. We were always going to a wedding, right? So back then, it was a big incentive for women to be married. They didn't have what we have now. So the only people that they could talk to was either another married couple or the group that you were part of, right? Your church, your local women groups and stuff like that. So women had a different type of a loyalty to each other back then. So when I got married, there's certain, while I still got married in a church, and it's still under the eyes of God, but you still have to sign those marriage certificates. that the government got involved with. But again, marriage then was different then than now. Um, my wife and I understand our role in this relation in our relationship. We are God fearing people. We understand that we are making sacrifices for the next generation, which is our two sons. We understand that we have to look to each other for a lot of strength. And the part where my son said to me that when you get married, you have to lie to your wife to make her happy. And again, I understand from his point of view and his generation. But from my generation, lying to my wife to make her happy doesn't um, solve the problem. Because it's a problem. Because I see it now that a lot of people think they have to lie to keep the relationship going so that the person's feelings is not hurt. But in my opinion, lying to your spouse to make them happy is even a bigger lie, right? Because if your spouse is overweight, they know they're overweight. The doctor told them they're overweight. The medication they're going on, they're overweight. The dress size, they make them overweight. So for somebody to ask you, and we had commercials telling you that, honey, do I look fat? Yes, you are fat. Okay. Now, modern times are going to say, why would you say that? Why wouldn't I say that? You see, I'm from the Caribbean. Okay, I'm an American citizen, but I'm from the Caribbean, and our culture, we're not doing that. Because you see, the idea that another person will come in and I tell you that you're overweight, and someone tell you, no, you're not overweight, you look good. This is how the deception comes in the Garden of Eden, right? That's how the evil came in, the deception. So if you feel that I told you the truth that you are overweight, your dress size told you you're overweight, the scale told you you're overweight, the doctor told you you're overweight, and somebody comes in and tell you that you're not overweight, that's a you issue. That's a self-esteem issue that you feel that everybody else told you you were overweight, but this person told you you're not, and that's who you're going to go with. I think about this, people. There's a man coming down the block with a gun and he's shooting up every household, and you're the third household and you have your gun and everything, and you tell your wife, listen, if you keep quiet and go in the back, he's not going to kill you. That's a lie. I'm going to have to go out there and neutralize this guy, or he's going to neutralize my entire family. But I'm going to let her know I'll be back. But she know there's a chance I won't be back. That's being honest. That's being honest. Fast forward, we have all these internet programs now. Yahoo, you have not Yahoo, not even Yahoo anymore. You have Facebook, Instagram, all these YouTube, all these now way of women reaching out to each other. So there could be a woman from Indiana in a town of 500 posting a video of how she got rid of her husband, and everybody going, yes. In the 80s and 90s, we have Oprah Winfrey that told women they could be bad by themselves. And women actually took her up on a challenge and divorced their husbands of 30 years. And then come to find out that it wasn't all great out there like that. Some of these men moved on and remarried. Some of these men got destroyed, and these women didn't care. But society on a whole has grown to where we have given people options based on the internet. And people have taken those options because they feel that they could do better out there. Or there's some grass is green on the other side, as my grandparents used to say. But when to go find out that the grass is actually not greener on the other side, because you have to start all over again, right? And you don't know who you're starting all over again with. So again, I understand the new generation feelings that they don't want to get married and have the government control their marriage. And if the woman in 10 years or 5 years feels that this is not what she wants, she could walk away with everything that you have. I understand. I understand the fear. And it's a valid fear because men have to create their wealth and to work 7 days a week. Sometimes, to build who you are, your character, you may have to be sleeping probably minimum 4 hours. And to know you have put all this into yourself to now find somebody to share it with, and they just swoop in and take it away from you. I understand the fear, and it's a legal fear. It's a legit fear, right? But society have to be held responsible for that. Older women have to be held responsible for that because they have followed the Oprah Winfrey pill and find out that this is not what it is. My wife and I have been on vacation, and there's 30 women over there by themselves. There's no men with them, and they all dress alike. They all look alike. They all, and one guy walk by, and it's like lunch because they're all competing for the same guy. But you see, society have set it up like that. I've told women what they don't need and what they can extract from you if they get married to you. And women have followed that they're going to find the man that could provide and protect and extract all his resources. And I understand now why the part about the government comes in, because the government has no windfall for men. You're just to them a checkbook. Now, if the woman decides she wants to walk away from this marriage, and you already had stuff when you came into this marriage, you're paying her for the rest of her life. You're paying for children. You're paying for her lodging, while the courts do not consider where you're going to live, how you're going to pay for your lifestyle now, because theirs has been taken care of. But there's nothing in place for you as a man. So I understand the legit feeling that men have that marriage in this century is not beneficiary to men, because women that are getting married to these men at this age, at this time, are just there to extract their resources. And who wants to work for half their life and then have the resources extracted for them? But this is in this time. In my time with my wife and I, we had to rely on the family dynamic and our surrounding and the group that you're associate yourself with, which is family. We try our best to stay away from single people, because single people have single ideas. Okay, and sometimes you could be talking to a married person, and because of what you have and they don't have, they'll lead you down the wrong path. And the Bible said, don't look unto your pastor for advice. Look to your husband for advice. So people have to think about, what do we do when we talk about marriage in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, even the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, of how it was structured to now 2022, into the 20s now, to where we're seeing a different dynamic of what women want. In order for you to get married, they want a $10,000 ring. They want an elaborate wedding. They want all these things. But then when all this is over with, and now it comes to day by day work in a marriage, they never signed up for it. And the reason why they didn't sign up for it is because they never saw it in their lives. They never saw their mother and their father together. And those who have seen their mother and father together, some even feel that the father took advantage of the mother because the mother had to stay home. Not understanding that the father didn't take advantage of the mother. That's the sacrifice she decided to make so that your children could have a better life. Because each generation is supposed to elevate the next generation. My sons is not going through what I went through when I was growing up, because I made sure they didn't go through that. A lot of women, when they see my wife, you know, don't really like what she's doing or how she carries herself, because she carries herself like a first lady, and that's what all women should do. They don't understand that part. As far as going out, we go out together. There's no partying by ourselves. We go out as a couple, because that's what we're supposed to do. But I understand in this modern age that the man go hang out with his friends and the women go hang out with her friends, and they party and they vacation separately. No, my wife and I don't vacation separately. We vacation together. My wife and I also have one bank account, not two bank account, and her money is her money, and my money is her money. Everything goes into one account. So there's a difference with the years from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s where marriages last, because I'm getting ready to go into my 40th year, and some people can't get past 5 because they don't understand what commitment means. They don't understand what love means. In my next video, we're going to talk about the word love because a lot of people don't understand what it means or the concept of it. Even though you see your parents 40th married for 40 years, and you're trying to figure out how they do it. We're going to talk about that in my next video. Free thinkers.